You walk in tired and hungry, one bad dinner away from losing it. You don't like to cook. You don't want more takeout. You just want something good. That's why there's Dish by Blue Apron. Pre-made meals with at least 20 grams of protein and no artificial flavors or colors. From fridge to fork in 5 minutes or less. Keep the flavor. Ditch the subscription. Get 20% off your first 2 orders with code APRON20. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
Daniel, one of those special European nights at Old Trafford, last-minute winner, under the floodlights.
And yet never to be sneezed at.
No, I know. It's easy to be cynical, isn't it? Because United very, very nearly blew this one. I mean, does it really matter? I don't know. I guess it does in terms of the group. But
I think, it does matter a bit. Like, you don't really want those 2 extra matches against Barcelona.
Yes, it's inevitable.
There was a point where it looked like it might be Liverpool. That seems unlikely now, but you don't like those 2 extra games. Yeah, you don't need those, and
they would happen in February as well. And like hellish schedule going to be after the World Cup. So yeah, if United can avoid it, that's good.
And I mean, they could have done with a few goals, but it does even though they won 1-0 tonight, it does seem unlikely that they'll go to Sociedad and win 1-0.
Right,
as in like they might beat them. But if you gave me a choice of kind of 1-goal victories, 1-0 would definitely be not be the one I go for first. Even though
do you remember what is it head to head? And so
it's head to head. So I'm
then goal difference is a decider after that.
Yeah, like goal difference and goal scored. So, but then head to head, like you would win head to head if you beat them 2-1, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And they've got a better goal difference in the group.
Yeah.
I mean,
we've always got Sheriff at Old Trafford to
They played quite well against us at Old Trafford. We played dreadfully, and most of the first team didn't play, and they still needed one of the most ludicrous penalties you've ever seen to beat us.
That's right. That's right. Ammonia tonight. God, weird game, wasn't it? Because United had 70-something% possession and well over 20 shots, and at one point United had created 7 big chances, which I think in the Opta stats means like a very clear-cut chance, and missed 7 big chances, which is quite special, and ended up with over 4 XG.
I mean, Ten Hag I thought was actually quite interesting on the ludicrous profligacy afterwards, where he said he wasn't that bothered because we make chances in every game, we score in every game. And that's sort of true, but at the same time, it's sort of not true that not having any reliable goal scorers will cost you over the course of the season.
It will. Yeah.
It cost Ole in that Sevilla game. Where the first 45 minutes to hour of that was some of the best United played under Fergie. A low bar, but they just didn't have a killer.
Mm-hmm. And it's true tonight as well. I mean, I wouldn't put all the blame on Ronaldo, but 7 shots tonight and 2 on target.
I wouldn't. But he didn't.
It's not just him, definitely.
He didn't. It's him in that he limits the way the team can play.
Yeah,
but he didn't have the big chances tonight. Rashford did.
Yes,
and he assiduously missed them. What I loved about that one in the second half was he was so precise in the way he guided it past the post. He got his body shape. He got perfect first touch. Body shape, absolutely beautiful. Beautiful connection, and really quite a long way wide.
Was that the one where United got a corner?
They got a corner,
yeah, where it definitely wasn't a corner. Yeah, the ref didn't believe that he could miss it by that much.
I mean, I thought Anthony also had that was a big chance. The Anthony one, where he opened his body in the way we've seen him do, but took a touch.
Yeah, Scott McTominay shooting miles over the bar near the end. Of course, I got straight on Twitter to slag him off, and 30 seconds later he actually puts it in.
like it didn't seem like he could have got the ball that high, from that steep an angle of elevation from the angle he was at. Like it was obviously a bit further away, but like Waddle's penalty. There aren't many I can think of where
still in orbit.
The angle of elevation is, it's not just how high they go over the bar, it's how quickly they get how they get that high. It's the angle of elevation. You need, a long time since I've
Rugby
said
League
that.
World Cup's final is going to be played at Old Trafford, isn't it, in November? While a certain other World Cup is going on, that'll fit in quite well.
It's good of them to go and cut the pitch up for us.
Oh God, they absolutely destroy it, aren't they? There was a time when Old Trafford was an absolute mud bath. These days, they actually managed to have some drainage, and the ground team have won the Groundsman of the Year 2 years in a row.
It was one of the many. Yeah, it was one of the many things we blamed in 91-92 was the state of the pitch through the winter. And stop them playing the kind of football they wanted to play. The thing is, it's one of those things that there is some truth in that, but you should never say it because you just
it sounds ridiculous.
You just can't do it.
Well, they spend a lot of money on drainage and stuff over the years, and also it's partially synthetic, isn't it? So there's a lot of fake grass in there. It's helps with the Manchester winter, I suppose. I mean, I couldn't really blame the pitch tonight for United throwing away 20-odd chances.
No, but it was the pitch that enabled them to keep going, right?
Yeah. I mean, some credit to the Ammonia keeper, who's their third choice, by the way. He didn't even come on. Ammonia keeper got injured last week, and the second choice came on, and this guy's the third choice. So I'm not quite sure how that happened, but he had a decent game, pulled off some important saves. And I suppose if you're one of the 5,000 Ammonia fans that have made the trek over, you'd be gutted about holding out for 93 minutes or whatever.
Some glorious shots of their end at the end now. Beautiful. But I thought that, he made most of the saves he made, saves you would expect him to make. I guess the one from Rashford, although the first half, that was one of the best chances I thought, was a poor finish. But he made it so that Rashford had to do something to beat him. Rashford just thought he needed to hit on target and score, and the keeper made that not the case. But Robbie Savage said on telly that it was the greatest night in Ammonia's history.
I couldn't tell you whether that's true or not.
It sounded a bit weird to me.
Have they had any famous wins in Europe? They've won league titles,
but they have won about 1 billion league titles, like 21 actually, which is a number that we don't have.
No,
they've won 21 league titles. Yeah, so I don't know. But then Neil Lennon said it as well. He's the manager.
I think there's a bit of what's the right word for this? Xenophobia? Is it? No, it's not really xenophobia. It's like
it wasn't even
patronising because it's Cypriot football, right?
Yeah, like a point against United. Is that better than losing 10-0 to Ajax in 1979-80? I don't know.
Wow.
At least that was in the second round.
Coming up with all the stats there
they lost 4-0 and 9-0 to Bayern in 72-73. And actually, that was a decent Bayern team. So maybe that's a better result than losing 1-0 to this bunch of clowns.
They managed one shot on target, Ammonia did, and I think that was the one from about the halfway line, wasn't it?
Yeah. But they did have a proper good chance to score when we got lucky when Bruno went down the left, and Lindelof just chugging along behind him, like not even in the slipstream. And he decided to toe poke it high and wide instead of crossing the bloke in the middle who Martinez had lost.
Yes.
That was a good chance.
Yeah.
And there was a point during the game, probably a bit before half-time and a bit after, where I was sort of mentally prepared for that dreadful fucking silence you get when an away team scores in Europe. There's not that many fans, and there's just that moment where the ground is quiet.
No, I know the sinking feeling.
Yeah,
many a time before United had any success in Europe.
I mean, I guess there were 4,000 of them. They made a row, but I don't know why it's like that in European games. But it feels like it always is.
It is 1997 Borussia Dortmund at Old Trafford. It's Monaco, Juventus,
the Keane goal.
Yeah, some absolute sickeners over time.
There's something about when English teams score, everyone goes, yeah! And when a Spanish team score and various, they go, goal! And it just sounds so much better.
The first time I ever went to the Bernabeu was with some Real Madrid fans. And the thing that struck me was the difference in the noise, kind of whoosh. I don't know how to explain it. It sounded and felt different.
It's a much more aggressive and kind of haunting sound than yes. It's not good. It's not aggressive enough. Like affirmation should be aggressive.
I think it deserves a 10,000 word think piece on the sound that fans make when you score a goal. There you go. Pitch it to the Athletic. I mean, is there anything we can learn from this game at all? Anything? I mean, like
yes,
we have 3 wins in a row now after
I tell you what I think
getting smashed by City.
Is that they ran out of ideas and maybe they ran out a bit of puff, but they didn't panic.
Yeah, that's true.
They did keep trying to play football. They weren't that good at doing it. From about 75 minutes onwards, they created more or less fuck all. But also the subs again. Part of it is he's got the ability. He's got a stronger squad probably than any post-Fergie managers had at this point, and because he's got the good players that have sort of been accumulated over the years. There also have been some all right ones.
There are some
still there. Then he's added some all right players, and he's now actually got options. So I don't know. Like it seemed like Sancho to me today with far greater dynamism.
He was positive,
than we'd seen previously, and the way he made the goal was incredible.
Great composure, and we know he brings that. I mean, there's some interesting data I saw on Sancho. He's getting something like 40 to 45% fewer touches per game than he got on average at Borussia Dortmund. So it's not just him, and he's been poor for United. It's like the team as well. Yeah.
It's the team, but that's one thing. But then if you're not getting that attacking output for that reason, we shouldn't forget that you're there.
Yeah.
And this was something, this was something that was served Mkhitaryan as well. If he didn't do the things that he can do, then it's like playing with 10.
Yeah.
And whereas I don't think that's so with Rashford.
Right.
It was like that a bit last season, whereas they were playing with 12.
The thing with Rashford, when he's bad, he does look really bad, but he at least generally has the effort as well. There's a defensive side.
He's putting runs in behind. He's making the defenders do a little bit more and work a bit harder. And he's quite good at finding goals. And Sancho, I thought, he's not been. You shouldn't forget about him when he's playing, because he should be putting in a shift.
Yeah,
and
no, I agree. Yeah, he often feels like he's. Yeah, he doesn't feel like a very proactive player, does he? Sometimes,
and he doesn't assert himself physically. And that's not necessary. Like, he's quite a unit, Sancho. Like, he's not, because he generally sort of associate players who play like he does as being quite small and slight almost, and nippy, but he's not. But he's quite a big unit, and there's no reason why he shouldn't be bigger and why he shouldn't be sprinting more, I don't think. And don't do something to get stop the opposition from doing their thing if you're not playing well. And also Shaw is another one who he totally has it physically.
Yep.
And
doesn't use it.
Seems like it's once again losing his place to make him try and play well.
Yeah, the interesting thing with Shaw is, like, I think we'll see where Malacia gets with his career, but Shaw is a more complete package. If he doesn't switch off defensively, which we know he does, and he wants to put the work rate in, which he doesn't always do, and he's focused, which he isn't always, as we know. Yeah, I mean, I think he's dropped some of the entourage, which was a problem earlier in his time at United. There were too many people telling me that he had, that was part of the problem, the lack of focus.
I think the thing with Shaw, and I think this about Martial as well, is that they were both probably the best player or among the best players at every level growing up. Right. And he just kept stepping up and thinking, yeah, this is all right. I don't have a problem with this at all. But always felt they were going to make it. Were never one of the kids in the intake of wherever it was who thought that they were going to get kicked out.
Yeah.
And he also probably was at Southampton as well. He didn't learn to compete.
Yeah,
but he didn't learn to compete in the way that like Eric Harrison had the class of '92, like playing small-sided games where they can score with a header.
Yeah,
think about like how physical that's getting when that's the case. When you've got these already driven people, it's like how people train like fighting dogs and shit, like make them bang them against each other, and like it's literally that. Yeah, he didn't have that growing up, and as I said, was always good. Got to move to a big club very early for a ridiculous amount of money. Oh, this is all right. Then all of a sudden, he's got some adversity, and he just doesn't have that devil, but does obviously want to play for United, because every time he needs to play for it, he is capable. And what he's got that Man City doesn't have is he already has the relationship with Rashford, so that's helpful. Because I'm sure probably that I'm pretty sure that Ten Hag thought that left flank was going to be Malacia and Sancho, and it isn't. And it's the two kind of better, more physical athletes, because that is very helpful when there's not much between the players. And what Shaw has also is he can drive forward with the ball, and Malacia can't really do that at the moment, or hasn't.
It doesn't
tried
seem
to do it yet.
yeah. Yeah, well, Malacia's interesting because he comes inside a lot. He finds himself in sort of half spaces inside, and you kind of like, well, that looks like he should play for Pep Guardiola rather than United. But yeah, two very different styles.
Well, that's the way, because the way that he's being told to play by Ten Hag is that.
Yeah,
and we don't have the players for that. Yeah. If I'm honest, like, it sounds ridiculous. If you're giving me a choice, I'd rather watch a power team that is as good as a Guardiola team than a Guardiola team, because I want some attitude.
I mean, the interesting thing with Sancho, because Sancho wants to come inside all the time. He wants the ball. He's like a secondary number 10. He benefits a lot from someone going outside of him.
I think Sancho could probably play as a number 10, actually.
Yeah, I'm sure he could. And he did. He played not many games for Dortmund there, but a few. But he just
half-turn.
He is, and he uses space well, as we saw with setting up tonight's goal. He understood what was going on. He doesn't panic in precious situations like that. So
it was a really good finish as well
from McSauce,
Lucky T,
Scottish player, Mark II.
If I ever become a rapper, I'll be MC Tom.
I'm looking forward to that.
You have my word on that.
Yeah, Brixton Academy. So I'm looking forward to the first session. Yeah, you got to start off with the rap battles. I've seen 8 Mile. That's how it works. That's how you build your career.
Yeah,
so, yeah. No.
I'm on that. Yeah. The touch was great, but what I also really liked was he didn't just get the ball out of his feet, but it felt like he then waited another split second to see where the keeper was going to be, and so the ball was in a perfect position, and he knew, even like in the maelstrom of that moment, that he had that time to get his finish in the way that he wanted to, which, I mean, he's quite good in front of the goal. We don't get him in those positions very often.
I mean, he scored double figures at Dortmund 3 years in a row. I was
talking about McTominay there.
McTominay. Sorry, I said he's got it. I mean, he got a few goals last season, McTominay, and he can shoot, despite that one that hit the stratosphere today. We know he can score some goals from distance, and he often looks better when he's pushing forward than
he actually
being
reminds
a defensive
me of that
player.
Shot. Yeah, that shot that. It reminded me of, there was a player who played for Swansea in QPR in the early to mid-80s called Robbie James. He also played for Wales, because I had a mate at school with a QPR season ticket who used to brag of Robbie James' ability to whack the ball onto the roof of the stand. Like, this was a good quality that he had.
Great.
In that Guinness, with that one of the great kits, the one that was the mid-80s, sort of 85 kit sponsored by Guinness.
Nice.
Was an all-time classic, I would say.
I was just having a chat with a friend at the weekend about kits. Yeah, I was. Yeah, I've got a friend occasionally. I know.
I'm shaking up here. I mean, I've got one up on me.
Yeah, emotional. It was. Yeah, about kits, because I've got quite a lot, and I've ordered a few for the World Cup. So,
what have you got?
Well, I've got an Argentina kit. I don't know why, just because it's all right. And I've got the Denmark third kit. I do think this is the kind of. It's on the verge of virtue signalling, the blacked out one, to protest a bit against the World Cup. I just like it because it's blacked out.
It's got to be done.
Yeah, it's like this is a tangent, but we like to do that on this show. The announcement that Harry Kane will be wearing a One Love rainbow armband throughout the World Cup, whether FIFA like it or not,
and a bucket hat.
I'm like, this is like how, like, this is the most we're going to do, right? For the thousands of people that have probably lost their lives building this fucking World Cup, we're going to wear a One Love armband. So couldn't help feel cynical about that.
I mean, everything, I guess ultimately everything counts, but at the same time, it seems like nothing counts, because why does it count? What is the World Cup's still going ahead.
Still going ahead. I almost got to the point where I thought, well, you know what? This is actually worse than doing nothing, because we're now going to have the image on TV of Qatar World Cup, a bunch of their regime there, and look how inclusive we are. We're even allowing Harry Kane to wear a rainbow flag.
But we always hear it's sports washing, right? And I've been kind of increasingly thinking, is it really about that? Because you could argue that by making themselves more known, they've become actually more people have become aware of the horrors that go on. That's definitely so of me. Like, I'm ashamed to admit that when City got bought, I was bitching about being anti-competitive.
Yep.
I had no problem with a salary cap or wages cap. It's not just an old money is the only good money situation. That's not what I'm saying at all. I was saying that you shouldn't be able to take a club from there to the top like that. Like, it's meant to be like an activity. That's meant to be, I think they call it sport.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that actually what was really going on. So you could run the line that actually it's not that, is it? But then increasingly, I'm sort of thinking it's just a business thing, really. It's rather than to make people think that these are nice people or all the reputations or whatever. It seems like it's more about commercial opportunities to entrench power.
Yeah, well, the soft power thing, and I think we can hold more than one thought in our heads here, and so there is a soft power aspect to it. There is a PR aspect to it, because this is the opportunity for the world to come, including a whole bunch of powerful dignitaries, to come to Qatar and
but why?
And make the relationships. Qatar has to find its role in the world post oil, post carb. And
the money that will entrench power, rather than dickheads like me and you going, "This is dreadful."
Yeah.
Because, and or me anyway. Like, their involvement in football has made me know much more about them than I did before, which is bad.
Well, that's true, but remember that we are both engaged in this to an extent that's greater than most people, right? Most people don't bother engaging in the news. They're going to watch the football. Yeah, no, I mean it's true though, but and it's part of the reason why the pushback to any of the criticism of the regime is going to be things like, "I don't mix sport and football. This is doing the World Cup a disservice to bring this up right now," and it's an easy pushback, and it will be repeated verbatim by most of the world's major press and TV outlets. So anyway, I'm deeply cynical about this, and I'm not quite sure how we got onto the topic, but it kind of annoyed me this week because I know the game.
Something else about Qatar that I think about often is that it seems to be more about money than about PR and reputation laundering. Increasingly, I think it's more about money making. That's
You know who we've got at the weekend, don't you?
Oh, good.
Yeah. Saudi FC. Going to be lovely. Really looking forward to this one. Have to say that.
Did you see, by the way? Did you see it just on my mind? Did you see Ten Hag's pre-match interview?
I did not.
So the guy you can find it on my Twitter, but because I had to actually then return and film it because I felt like this deserves the widest possible audience to love shit like this, because I'm a nerd. But whatever. Ten Hag, he says to a question, says something like, "Do you think it would be good, basically, if your team didn't give the opposition a goal this week or something?" And Ten Hag replies saying, "You've answered your own question." Also, you know the answer to the question, basically. And it is just like, because it's when they set up, it's not even an open-ended question. It's like, in the wording of the question, they set up the answer. And like, the answer is often yes or no, but they don't want you to say yes or no. It's like, it's a very peculiar formulation that you see it. I saw it quite a lot when I'd covered a couple of test matches in the 2013 Ashes. And you could see in the press conferences, people be asking questions that weren't actually really requests for information. They were to con someone into saying something that you wanted. Yeah. It would be a leading question that either you or your editor wanted, but it would be much more torturous than that. It's not even like where you're trying. It's not. Yeah, it's much more. And then if one of them tried it and they got battered away, someone on the other side of the room would have a go.
Yeah.
It would just be like, and cricket in particular, it was annoying because there's so much about cricket that as a punter you don't know.
Yeah.
And so many things that these people could tell you. Like, you're talking to, like, Alistair Cook or whatever. And they're trying to get Alistair Cook to say what they want rather than asking Alistair Cook to tell us loads of shit.
Tell us about Test cricket, because you know what? He might know a bit about it. Yeah, that's right.
And then at the end of that, one of those press KP makes this century. This is obviously nothing to do with United, but anyway, KP makes a century at the Old Trafford on the Saturday to basically save the Test match, secure the Ashes, and then comes and gives the most southern press conference you've ever seen, like on purpose. It's just answering questions like this. And then at the end, a reporter from, I think, a now defunct tabloid was ranting about this. And so was someone from a broadsheet, called him a cunt. So I said, did you enjoy that century he scored in the middle that basically saved the Test match and secured the Ashes for England? Yes. So what do you think his job is? Doing that or talking to us? And one of them, the broadsheet guy, replied with, they're both equally important. And I just like, not straight at that point. I put my head in my hands.
Gone up your own backside there, haven't you, mate? Yeah. Ten Hag never does that, by the way. I mean, he is perfunctory, but he's
he gives good answers. He doesn't. Yeah. He won't always tell you everything that he's thinking, but he doesn't give you platitudes. I find.
Yeah. I think that's right.
He'll always say something.
What do you think he'd be saying after this weekend's beautiful game against Human Rights FC 2? So.
I would say against almost any team in the league, if United play well, they'll win. And it's been like that for 2 years. They did play very well very often for all of the previous season, but they've got good players. And when they play well, they're a hard team to live with. They've got nasty attackers, quite a few of them now. And I hope that Varane and then I don't know if he would drop, because if he would drop Lindelof for Varane at this point, I definitely would. But just the sight of chugging along when they should have scored in the first half was enough for me to remind myself of. I
think he's just being careful with Varane. I mean, he's been on the bench for the last 2 games. He's obviously fit enough.
The team's been winning without him, and the sort of way he's been going about stuff has been not dropping people who are doing all right from someone who he knows to be a better player.
Yeah, I mean, interesting against Newcastle. I mean, they won, what was it, 5-1 at the weekend, wasn't it? And they've been, I can't even remember where they are in the Premier League at the moment. But,
they're about 6th, I think.
Yeah, I'm hoping the reporters ask Eddie Howe more questions along the lines of, Eddie, tell us why you're so wonderful.
The only question he's prepared to answer.
Yeah, talking sport washing and all that.
They've got good players in Newcastle. They played really well against City. They played really well against Arsenal last season, although Arsenal had gone by then. And they're difficult. I mean,
they've scored 9 goals in their past 2 games. I mean, that can give you some confidence. I mean, obviously, red card against Fulham helped somewhat with the late goals there, but if we battered Brentford at the weekend.
If we play well, we'll win. But if they play well, it will be a really hard game.
Yeah, I mean, we've had some interesting ties against Newcastle over the years. It's been a long time since they were actually good, well preceding the.
Well, they weren't good. They weren't good for very long. They had that one good season under Bobby Robson, 02-03, and then Keegan season. And they were quite good the first season they came up. Andy Cole, Beardsley, were really good.
Yeah, until we stole Cole off them. Yeah, I mean, it's because it's like they're a one-club city, passionate fans. They turn up, they're a great supporter base.
And the ground's
great, right by great, right in the centre of town, and it's completely unique that way. Great place to go to as an away fan.
Apart from the away end.
Yeah.
Are you now downstairs in Newcastle? I mean, I know the game is.
I don't know. It's ages since I've been there
because they changed the rules. No, they changed the rules. They changed the rules so that you have to have away fans in a lower tier. You can't just cut them off to the middle of nowhere and pretend like they're not there. I
was talking about the Bernabeu earlier, and they do the same at Camp Nou as well. And there's not a traditional away fans really in Spain, and so there'll be a couple of hundred, and they'll stick them up right at the top of the 3rd tier, so you can't hear a word from them.
I promised myself after the last Barcelona in 08 that I would not do that again. And I just sit in their end because you can't see a fucking thing and you're miles away from anything. Yeah,
take
a drink in, get out at normal time. Yeah, I mean, I did it in Madrid when Welbeck scored. But Newcastle away on one's like, I got to the top after a refreshing afternoon. And so I said, fucking hate this ground or something. It's like, I can't remember, some comment about the ground. And Stuart put me up against the wall.
Fucking hell. Yeah.
Yeah. And the problem was like, ordinarily, that would not have been the end of the conversation. But I was not eager for anyone to rummage in my pockets, basically.
Right. Anyway, I started the point by trying to say one would normally go, okay, this is a proper football club. But of course, now that's all gone. They're not a proper football club anymore.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it? That they would, if similar had or did buy United, then United would suddenly become the best club in the world and the best team in the world and start winning things all the time, probably.
Yep.
But I still prefer the Glazers. I prefer losing with the Glazers to that. Like,
for sure,
where it comes from. And the thing is it wouldn't even have to be like that because they wouldn't have to put money in. All United needs to be able to compete at the top level is to be able to spend its own money. So it wouldn't necessarily even be with blood money. But at the same time, I can't have them owning the club.
Look, I totally agree with you. There was a story actually in The Athletic. I think we basically knew this, that the Glazers had offered a fairly substantial chunk of United PIF, the Saudi National Sovereign Wealth Fund, for something like $700 million worth of United, a 30% share or something like that. And the Saudis decided not to do it, presumably because if they're going to buy a club, they want to own the thing outright and be able to control it. So, but it tells you something. Like, the Glazers are in the market, despite Jim Ratcliffe saying this week that they're not in the market. At some point, they will be in the market because they want to liquidate their asset.
If someone offered them enough money, they'd sell. I can't, but
of course,
of course, I can't imagine their shopping malls are doing that much for them these days.
I very much doubt so, given the state of inflation and interest rates in the US at the moment. So yeah, and look, they take $5 billion tomorrow. I would say be a substantial profit for them to take away and go and spend on whatever they like spending. So, one day, but not a odious regime, please. Thank you.
So yeah, we're funny that like that is quite a significant ask because there just aren't that many non-odious regimes that have the money to buy United,
or would like to invest in something that has almost no guarantee of a return. If you look at United's financial performance, even if you improved it significantly through
but it's winning, it's the peripheral.
There's not a lot of marginal.
It's the peripheral money that being only United would then enable you to extend fingers into other pies, essentially.
All right. Well, I'll speak soon. I think you're off this weekend, aren't you? Another holiday. Always on holiday, Dan. Enjoy it. And maybe enjoy United victory.
Exactly.
Over
Shut
Newcastle.
up, everyone, as we say.
A good one.
All right, ta-ra.